Yes, Sachin sir.
Hi.
Yes. Second session of fourth day of IIT approved International Faculty Development Program organized by International Relations Office in association with Department of Electronics Engineering, YCC Nagpur. To begin with this export session today, we have with us Senior Engineer Sachin Maske sir. It's a great pleasure to have you. I welcome you, sir.
Thanks, Yogesh.
I also thank you for your gracious acceptance of our invitation, sir. I feel privileged to introduce such an eminent and dynamic personality from the technical world today. Friends, speaker of this session, Sachin Maske sir, is currently working as a senior engineer in the Department of Water Supply and Sanitization at Water Resource Consultancy Limited, Gabron, Botswana. Sachin sir has completed his diploma from Mumbai in 2003. He obtained his bachelor's degree in civil engineering in 2006 from RTMNU. Additionally, in 2009, he completed his MTech in environmental engineering from VNIT Nagpur. Sachin sir is not only an enthusiastic academician, he is also has the rich experience in working at various industries. Sachin Maske sir has extensive experience in working various countries and has undertaken numerous mega projects such as storm water and flood management at Bhuj city in Gujarat, Bongoj water system water treatment works at Bongoj, UK, Nadia water supply project in Gujarat, Branchloam water pumping station at UK, Water Utilities Corporation, Gabron, Botswana, and many more. Sachin Maske sir career spans several companies abroad as well as in India. Companies such as Wapcos, Synsis Tech Limited, Pell Freshmans Prabhu Limited, Tata Consultancy Engineering Services, Black and Watch Private Limited are few of them. I welcome you once again, sir. Today, sir will share his knowledge with us on the topic of a journey of engineer from academic institute to the public health engineering industry towards recent trends, challenges, and future roadmap for transition in technological generation. Now I request Sachin Maske sir to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Professor Yogesh. Now let me share my screen first of all.
Yes.
Hope all of you are able to see my screen and I'm audible to you.
Sir, your screen is still not visible.
It's not visible. Okay. Tell
Yes.
me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us start our session.
Yes.
Thanks to YCC and respected professor for inviting me for the guest lecture for the Faculty Development Program 2022. Today, we are going to see, actually, basically, my presentation topic is the journey of an engineer from academic institute to the public health engineering industry toward the recent trends. Basically, I would like to divide my presentation into two parts. First one is the journey of engineer from academic to institute to public health, and then recent trends in the public health engineering. I have around 51 slides, so kindly bear with that. But we are not going to detail in each and every slide. I would like to finish it quickly and briefly. So don't worry about that. It should be not boring session for you. So let us start.
Yes, sir.
So the journey of engineer from academic institute to PhD industry. Now, there are 5 stages of engineer, like you can see this one on the right portion, fresher engineer from engineering institute. Normally in the our industry, we call the novice stage of the engineering. Then second stage is the graduate engineer, which is the advanced engineer. Then third stage of the engineer is the senior engineer. Fourth one is the engineer manager proficient. And fifth one is the team leader. Unfortunately, when any kind of engineer, whether it is civil, mechanical, electrical, ICT, any field of engineer, he will be no longer as a design engineer or engineer in rest of his future. He is going to be promoted from the engineers to team leader and managerial post. So that's why I would like to elaborate. The life of engineer is ending at the team leader position, which is we call the expert. Also, we call this model as the Dreyfus model of skill mastery, in which engineer, which is entering from the institute to the public health engineering field, at that stage, he is committed but detached with the other people's. Like, he don't have the experience. He has the academic experience and basic experience, which is taught by the respected professor. And that is one of the it acts as a foundation for the engineering. So that is a very good experience. But still, decision making characteristics of that engineer is just he only able to do the analytics of the any problem. Means he can analyze formulae, equations, other things which has been taught in the syllabus of the engineering. Perspective things, he don't have the perspective because he just bind with the engineering syllabus. So at the end, at this novice stage, he just follow the rules they have been given and make analytic decision with limited knowledge. In the next stage, he just shifted to the another stage that is advanced beginner, in which also the commitment through he is detached with his superior or something like that. Decision making power is the analytic perspective. Even like on this stage, advanced beginner engineer stage, he has the no perspective towards like, and he just still following the rules and making analytic decision, but now have the gain through the experience with the real world case situation to begin to understand the context of the rules. In the third stage, graduate engineer promoted to senior engineer, and we called him as a competent. In this stage, he's just a detached with the superior, but having able to understand the things, the experience, the field knowledge. Decision wise, he just taking the analytic decision. And perspective, he has his perspective. He has his perspective, but in chosen as per the various standard norms, other things. He at this stage, he begins to decide which rules are the best for each situation. This makes he feel more personally responsible for the choice you are making. First stage is the engineering manager stage, which is we call the proficient. In this stage, the proficient engineering manager is involved in understanding the problem. He is detached with the deciding system. Perspective wise, he has experience. He can take the decision, but still in the analytical stage. And he can able to best take the decision based on the best strategy rather than the relying on the other rules. And final most stage, he reached to the team leader position, and then he involved in the commitment. He is owned by the commitment, and perspective wise, we can call his experienced person, and his decision making becomes intuitive and spontaneously assess the internet use and select best approach without having analysis. So this is the 5 stage of the engineer. Now our topic is the like a recent trends of engineer. So I just want to connect this 5 stage with our with the various recent trends in the engineering, so that once the engineer from the institute enter outside the world of the engineering, outside the institute, he can follow this stage, but he cannot follow the from the first day of his college recent trends and other things. He can take initiative in the various experience of the industry and other things like that. Now let us move towards the new trends in the public health of engineering industry. I just want to cover some slides, like though I am from the public health engineering industry, I just want to I just want to cover the various aspect of public health industry, that is water and sanitation, investigation, recent trend in the solid waste management. Then we are going to cover the recent trends in the construction management, and finally electromechanical things. Now let's move towards the recent trends in the water supply and network design analysis. We know that in the water and sanitation system, we are able to design various water supply system, water treatment plant, sewage collection system, sewage treatment plant. There are many trends and modern practice are happening in nowadays in this field of work, like core water supply, core water treatment, core sewage treatment costs. So let's move one by one on the new trends in the water supply industry and water sanitation industry. Now, when we speak about the water supply network design analysis, there are many trends happens there are many trends happens in the water supply network design stream, apart from the engineering syllabus taught in the various engineering school or engineering colleges. So first, yes, we have to use the basics of hydraulics, like might be in the civil engineering syllabus, like in the I think 6th semester or 7th semester, various water supply design subjects are taught by the institute. It covers the modified Hazen-Williams equation, conservation of mass equation, conservation of energy equation, methods of balancing head, like that is Hardy-Cross method. So these hydraulics will be act as a basics of the water supply network theory. We cannot deny these basics of hydraulics. This is the basic foundation of the any water supply network design analysis. So this is the first stage we can call it the very initial stage of the water supply network design. Then, if we see the trends in the water supply design, like 10 years back, we all used to do design of the water supply network or sewage supply network, sewage collection network by the Excel sheet, manual Excel sheets. Then after that 5 years, we used to do the design water supply design with the public domain software. Then commercial software and software with the GIS integration. So let us move on the public domain software. So various software like US IPANET software, Jal Tantra is the this software is designed by the IIT Bombay, and Loop and the Branch. These are the public domain software, and these are the available free on the net, on the website. You can use that for the water supply network design. But limitation of this software is just it will give only the basic functions of the software. Like in commercial software, like Bentley softwares, there is Innovis water software, which are the commercial software, which will give you the higher degree of the freedom of the using your database, presenting your database to the clients. It will convert automatically various data sets from whatever inputs you are given to the software. So these are the trends. Like from public domain, you can use either public domain software, you can use our commercial software, and you can use software with the GIS integration like MyCarbon and ArcGIS. And nowadays, like I mentioned, is and so on. There are many updates happening in the commercial and public and software with the GIS integration software. In future also, these you will find new names of the software. Here, I don't want to recommend any type of software industry, but I just want to mention the trends in the water supply network design analysis. Second, yeah, it's mentioning like timeline of distribution system evolving. In 1930s, we used to people used to design water supply system with the Hardy-Cross network flow analysis. Then 1960 computer analysis they have done with the computer analysis. From 1970 there's some different methods. 2000 integrated modeling mapping, that is GIS, SCADA, containment kinematics, optimizations. And also future, you can expect multi-platform models, critical analysis management system, software, integration of transport GIS systems. So these are the trends from the 1930s to 30 to the at present and the future. Now, I don't want to cover the water James software, sewer James software, and other stormwater software because it will take the time. Due to the time constraint, I just choose some different type of trends which is normally used in the field. So out of that, one of the trends in the water supply networks, which is the transient analysis and the design by the Bentley Hammer. Now, what is the problem? You can find, like, at the every road size, you can find out some leakages. Sometimes you can find some faulty walls, and sometimes you can find out some busting of the pipes. That is all because of the transient analysis. It will lead to frequent main failures. People's normally resident don't like the shutdowns, boil orders, and street drivery repairs. It will affect the municipality service reputation. It will budget drain on manpower and material. It will take extra training time and specialized equipment required, administrative burden, unnecessary burden on water system, water is wasted. Now, these are the some photos which is caused by the water hammer damage. You might be aware that most of the people might be aware that this type of scenario happens in every country and every cities. You can find some busting of the pipes like this, breakage of the pipes because of water hammer. Now, what is the causes of these things? In the field of the public health engineering, we call this is the causes of transient. So this is caused because of the rapid change in the flow or pressure compared to the characteristic time, due to the sudden start, shift, shutdown of pumps and valves, due to the power control component failure, human errors. Sometimes sudden expulsion of gas or liquid will cause the transient flow, and it causes the water hammer. Now you can see the pump, the figure of pump, turbine, and valve. If you see the AGL, hydraulic gradient line, you can see immediate shifting of the AGL. Here also, immediate shifting of the AGL, which will cause the water hammer in pipeline. Now, sometime in the water application field, people tends to ignore transient flow analysis. So these are the risks of ignoring transients flow. It will lead to the positive transients leads to the pressure, which will be the burst of the pipe. Negative transient pressure, it is just like a creation of the vacuum in your pipe. It will collapse pipe. It will suck contaminated water into flowing from the adjacent sewerage system, stormwater system, like that. Transient forces can cause even buried pipe and joint to shift and leak. Like this is like a displacement of the joints of the pipe. It also injurious or may cause the death of the staff at the site. So these are the risks of ignoring the transient flow analysis. Next is why we perform the transient analysis. We perform transient analysis for any sudden changes in the velocity results, long and high velocity line, which are most vulnerable. That's why it's important to perform transient analysis. Distribution system can also experience extremely high or low pressure and thrust forces. So many times in the distribution system, we can find out extremely high pressure because of the topographical condition and bends in the pipe. Also, last point, like cost of doing the analysis is always lesser than the cost of the single repair. So if you really perform transient analysis, you will be get the read of the cost of single repair in your pipeline system. Now, this is the brief history and time consuming for the application of transient modeling. When we use various software, like from here mentioned 1990s to the present, we used to use the Waterhammer software. It will take hardly minutes to find out the thrust, high pressure, high velocity in your pipe. So that is one of the modern trends in the water supply application. We normally use hammer model. Before that, computer Waterhammer has been transient analysis has been done by the computer analysis, graphical analysis, and before that, we applied the rule of thumb. Like we simply provided the air wall on the 500 meter, or we simply provided the bends, thrust block, 500 meter like that. But these nowadays, rule of thumb is now rule of thumb. So all the system of the distribution of the water supply system are changing nowadays based on the various problems happens. Now how it's look like, this is the one of the software, Bentley Hammer software. So the screen looks like this. So this is the Bentley Waterhammer software. What is this? So this is the software. This is the software to predict hydraulic transient analysis. And this is based on the 100 years of experience, 20 years of hydraulic specialist tool. We choose a method of characteristic simulator built with the tight deadlines in mind and prover on the municipal and mining and hydro projects. So this is about the trends in the water supply system. Now I would like to stop here, and I just want to cover any queries from the participants. If it's not there, then we can move ahead.
Till now, I haven't got any query, sir. If there will be any query, I'll definitely get back to you.
Okay, so let's move ahead then.
Yes.
Now, this slide is showing the trends in the water and wastewater industry. I purposefully combine this slide with the mixture of the water treatment, wastewater treatment, and recycler system. This is the slides I have chosen from the one of the pilot project, which is having 10 MLD capacity, having the tertiary treated wastewater plant, and the Perugudi STP and Nesapakkam STP using ultrafiltration and ozonation, which is used for the recharging of the lakes at the Perugudi and Porur at cost of the 52.22 crores in construction. And this project is actually consulted by the IIT Madras, and it is already started by 23rd of September 2019, and going to be work completed by the August 2022. So what is happening here? Let us start from the lake. The lake is the actually source of the water from this site. You can see blue drop. It represents the water supply system. Lake is supplying water to drinking water treatment, which is probably supplying water to the various household. Then from the wastewater generated from the various household and municipal areas, which is treated in the wastewater treatment plant, obviously with the primary and secondary treatment. In the advanced tertiary facility, tertiary treatment, they are treating water, this wastewater treatment, with the use of the ultrafiltration and ozonation, so that they can recharge these lakes. There are two lakes at the Peruguddi and Porur. So they are recharging this lake and again using this water as a water supply source. So this is continuous cycle. So these are the trends nowadays coming in the water supply industry. You can experience that there is a day by day there is a scarcity of water, and there is a scarcity of the source of the water. Like India is the luckiest country. They have the perennial rivers, but in other countries they have very limited source of the water supply. Like in Botswana or South Africa, you can find very few rivers which has been the perennial system. So these countries are normally depend on the groundwater source. So that time, this type of trends, these countries are adapted. There is a green initiative trends in the sewage, gas, and power plant. This is the kind of the sewage treatment plant, which is the anaerobic digester. They used to produce the biogas from this plant. This is one of the places, 3 or 4 places in India. They used to use the wastewater treatment by producing the biogas, various biogas power plant. Now these are the installed capacity of a power plant, like 0.5 megawatt. These are the installed capacity. So these are the normal trends used in the public health industry. By means of the wastewater treatment, you can produce the gas-based power plant. There's a new trend nowadays. I don't know how many people know this big data application system. Nowadays, like projects in the public health engineering sectors, which are depend on the various data sets. Like I can take one example in the public health engineering system. Like when we design our water supply system or water treatment plant system or wastewater collection water or wastewater treatment system, we used to do population forecasting. Then we calculate the water supply demand. Then we used to calculate the sewage generation. So this big data application is related to municipal projects. Previously, this big data application has been undertaken in the IT sectors. So what is this big data? This big data is basically the structured and unstructured, semi-structured data that are very big, fast, hard, and comes in many forms. So whenever we have to design anything, we have to convert this structured, unstructured data, which is a high magnitude data. Through the application of this big data, as I told, before 21st century, this big data confined to the only IT system. But nowadays, it is emerging area in it used in almost all engineering specification. Like I mentioned, public health managers, engineers, big data is showing big promise in many water-related applications, such as planning of optimal water system, detecting ecosystem changes through remote sensing and geo information system, which is used for the forecasting, predicting, detecting natural and man-made calamities, scheduling irrigations, mitigation, environmental pollution, studying climate change impact, etc. So these are the form of the data, like structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. Like structured data, you can see various population data, which is structured. Like in India, it is happened like after 10 years, we used to calculate the population data to various form. Unstructured data is basically data obtained from the other source. Similarly, semi-structures are the data obtained from various other stakeholders. So we have to modify data, we have to process that data for getting our result. In public health engineering system, we call this 6 V's of the big data. First one is the volume. These are some voluminous data, the amount of data from the myriad sources. Variety, the types of data, structured, semi-structured, as we covered this also. Velocity, the speed at which big data is generated. Veracity, the degree to which big data can be trusted. Value, the business value of the data collected, the ways in which big data can be used and promoted. You might be aware that most of the cases, all these 6 V's of big data use for the data conversion. Like you can see, Google, which collected the data from our documents and other things. It consists of these 5 V's of data. Like daily, you can get some call from various companies. From where their data they receive this data from the social platform. So that is that big data application. So previously it is limited to the IT sector, but nowadays it also used in the various public health engineering projects also. So let's move on the another trends in the public health engineering projects, like carbon credit and monitoring and processor mechanism. So let's ask, what is the carbon credits? It is the measurement of the greenhouse gas emission reduction. Device as a market-oriented mechanism to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Certificates issued to entities in developing countries that reduce their GHG emissions. Carbon credits is a tradable commodity whose price as on date is around $5. It means if you earn 1 carbon credit, it will give the $5. Can be earned by the organization like local bodies, smart cities, government departments who are involved with the green projects. For your information, most of the smart city projects, they are implementing this carbon credit basics. Now, what are the opportunities and benefits from the carbon credits? It gives the additional source of revenue with no additional capital investment. Like, let us take the case of the Indore Municipal Corporation. They have earned a lot of carbon credits by implementation of various projects, and they are gaining additional capital investment there in their municipal projects. Second, carbon credit proceeds act as a carbon financing to the project that contribute to emission reduction, which can be used to reduce the net project cost. These carbon credits also give the opportunity of source of earning foreign exchange. It will improve goodwill and international reputation for pursuing initiative that contribute to cleaner planets. So this is the carbon credits, opportunities and carbon credit. What is the carbon credit? So for implementation of your carbon credit monitoring, there are 4 stages. In first stage, first stage, we choose a project which include the project participant, project identification, project implementation, project operation, generation of carbon credits. Second stage is the validation and registration of process. Third stage is the verification of issuance process. Third one is the trading process. Now, implementing the carbon credit monitoring and process mechanism, it is very difficult, but it should be the doable things. Now, various mechanism like VCS, Verified Carbon Standard driven by VCS. These are the board which is verified your project and approve your carbon credits. Now, what are the eco-friendly projects may earn the carbon credits? Like renewable energy projects like solar PV rooftops, windmills, small-scale hydro projects can implement these carbon credits. Energy efficient projects like energy efficient cook stoves, LED lighting projects. These are the user-friendly projects to earn carbon credits. Various transport projects like metro rail, bus rapid transport system, electrical vehicle, waste handling disposal, afforestation, deforestation, plastic collection recycling, industrial interventions, cattle management. These are the projects in which you can earn the carbon credits. Like I mentioned, getting the carbon credits is not it's not simple things. These are the entry barriers in carbon credits. So for the registration of the project, there is a 10,000 fees in the VCS mechanism. So there is high project registration charges. As I show you, this is the complex project, but you can get the rate of this complexity of the project. There are multiple carbon credit mechanisms like VCS, CDM, GCC, ECC. Like I have mentioned here, CDM, Clean Development Mechanism driven by UNFCCC, United Nations. VCS, Verified Carbon Standard driven by the VCS. These are the different agencies who will approve your carbon credits. There is a fluctuation of carbon credits markets. High upfront charges in appointment of DOE and auditors and issue. For the auditors and approval of projects, you have to pay a lot of money to the auditors and issuers. So that is the barriers of the carbon credit. So this is about the getting the carbon credits, which is act as a new trends in the public health engineering sector. Now, this is about up till now we talk about the treatment, other things. Now, let us talk about the new trends in the various pipeline. I don't want to cover the basic pipeline design, sewerage collection system. I just want to cover the new trends, which is not seen by the present college student. I know, and they have to in future they have to face this type of problem or this type of new technology in their in near future. Now, there is one mechanism, directional drilling methods. Now, whenever we use we used to lay some pipe which is crossing to the road, we normally do by the open cut method, but now there is a trend without excavating these things, road crossing thing, you can do it by the directional drilling methods. So as you see, these are the pipe drilling. This is the bore path and reception pit. And in next image, you can see there is a directional drilling, and you can pull that pipe like this by some hauling mechanism. So this technique is very simple in principle and effective, but required specialized equipment and labor. Nowadays, this type of trends happens everywhere, whether it is in the water supply system and sewerage supply system. Even like you can see this type of trends in the telecoms cables, electrical pole cables, like that. Let's move on the interceptor sewer. Now, this is the new trends in sewage collection network. Objective of this interceptor sewer is provide the mechanism to divert the untreated wastewater and polluted stormwater from open nala to the proposed sewage treatment plant. Conventionally, we used to transfer sewage from municipal urban areas by means of the sewage raising main or pumping main. But this is the new trends observed in the modern day. So have a look on this video. You will get the idea of how it's work or mechanism. As mentioned in this video, during the wet weather season, your interceptor sewer is carrying sewage water flow and sewage flow and the storm water flow directly to the river, because during rainy season the sewage characteristics or stormwater characteristic is not that much predominant. It is in the diluted stage. So that's why in the wet season, it permitted your sewage flow direct to the river. Even rainy season, like river flow is the continuous flow. You can find the diluted the pattern of the sewage. Now, in the dry season, your sewage, your stormwater characteristics are little bit concentrated, and that time mixing of water is not possible. So it's mixed in the very low flow of the sewage. So water interceptor sewer uh, permits to divert to the various diversion via. This is diversion interceptor chamber. It diverted to the manhole interceptor sewer pipe. Then further it transferred to the wastewater system. Now it treated in this sewage treatment plant with different process technology. After getting the tertiary treatment, it is again recycled to the river. So this is the main mechanism of the interceptor sewer. So these are the new trends. Nowadays, various municipal corporations has been adopted. This is the project which was done by myself in the Sciences Tech Limited, and it is almost executed in the Raigad, like Suda projects. Now let's move to the various trend in the investigation. Like in investigation, like various geotechnical survey and geotopographical survey. Nowadays, there are you can find various latest trends. I would like to cover here one method, which is the ground penetrating radar survey system, which has been taught to us in the university and any engineering syllabus. But up till now, actually, it was not executed or by various consultancy service or not. But nowadays, various consultancy service, various design firms, they used to do survey, geotechnical survey with the GPR technology. Let me go quickly. This is the illustration of GPR technique. This is the road surface, and these are the various reflector which is going to reflect backward on the various transducer, and they will get some signal. On the basis of that signal, they will able to find whether the ground surface is whether rock, you can find pipe, you can find culvert beneath your ground surface. This is one of the actual execution of the GPR results. In first image, you can find road path on which actual GPR survey has been carried out. And these are the, in second image, you can find some radargram profile, and they identified the various possible pipes like this. Even like you can able to find out beneath you or the road, you can find the culvert or some various rocks. So you can find able to find out that also. Also in the trends in the topographical survey, nowadays they use various various advanced mechanism by means of the drone. Uh, they are carrying out various topographical survey by the various aerial drone system, which gives the proper image. On the basis of that, you can analyze that image, and you can convert that data into convert various contours. So that is one of the recent trend in the topographical survey. I haven't covered that slide in this presentation. Now let's move the trends in the solid waste management. There are, when we talk about the solid waste trends in solid waste management, there are various new techniques normally adopted rather than the conventional system. And also there is a new code provisions has been implemented for the solid waste management. In the solid waste management, there are two automatic waste collection system. They are normally adapted in the various metro city. Like you can see first figure, there is the street path and there is house, and the person's just pulling his wastewater from this duct. And these are the ground underground ducts from which tankers collecting that solid waste by means of vacuum pressure or mobile vacuum units. You can see in the next figure various pipeline networks, which is normally used for the collection of the garbage from the various city. You must be heard about the gift city in the Ahmedabad. So this type of projects you can find in that city, which is actually executed. So let's have a look on this video how its automated waste collection system is actually operated. Hope you understand the mechanism behind the automated waste collection system through this video. Now, these are the tunnels which has been built for the various solid waste collection, various electrical things, various water supply pipeline, like that. Now let me move on the various various trends in the construction management practice. There are two new modern trends has been observed in the construction management process. There is a FEDIC guideline and there is PMP certification. Let's see how it's work. FEDIC, there is a International Federation of Consulting Engineers who will be taking care of the uniting the consulting engineers, and which gives the actual norms of various construction management industry. There is another trend like project management professional certification, which talks about the how to implement the projects more efficiently. So let's have a look on the FEDIC and PMP. So what is FEDIC? FEDIC is the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, which is founded in the 1933. Headquarters is Geneva, and which is representing 1.5 million of chartered engineer professionals in 103 countries. Mission of this FEDIC is work closely with the stakeholders to improve the business climate in which members operate and enable them to contribute to making the world better place to live in now and in future. It means like all the contract conditions and other things should be the same in the every country and something like that. Vision is like enabling the development of sustainable world as the recognized global voice for the consulting engineers in industry. Now, what FEDIC do? They publish various publications. Normally, they call the red book, yellow book, and silver books. So it gives the various contract conditions, and based on that, you will finalize your tender document, various tender publications, other things for various kind of project. Like there are different type of project like design, build, operate project, design, engineering project. There is a turnkey project. So FEDIC is basically finalize the contract condition, various clauses for the different type of project. So let's have a look on different type of contract conditions. Like red books. The red book is the intent for use for the civil work design by the employer. It is measurement contract. There is a contract administrative referred to as the engineers. Now it contains various general provisions. The definition of employer, definition of engineer, contractor, who should be nominated subcontractor, staff and labor, plant, materials, workmanship, commencement, delays, supervision clauses, test on completion clauses, employees taking over clauses, defect after taking over, measurement and evaluation, variation adjustment, contract price payments, termination by the employer, termination by the contractor, care of the work clauses, exceptional. So all the clauses and general conditions based on the type of the project. Now this red book book is normally intent for the use for the civil works designed by the employer. Like employer means client or consultant. Similarly, like red book, there are yellow books, silver books, and blue books. The yellow book is intended for the use for the mechanical and electrical works, and also recommend for the civil works. It is lump sum contract for the works designed by the contractor. Basically, this is the design build operate used for the yellow book is used for the design build operate project. So what is silver book? Silver book is the intended for the use for turnkey projects. There is another blue book which is also measurement of contract intended for the using dredging and reclamation work designed by the employer. So what is dredging and reclamation works? Now, normally dredging and reclamation work is normally used for the river retaining structures, other things. So there is some different blue books available for that type of contract. There is another gold book intended for the turnkey and infrastructure project, where the contracts also operates the project. This contract is administered by the employer's representative. And there is other Immerland book, which talks about the condition of contracts for underground projects. So why we are talking about this red, yellow, silver, and blue books? You will find out in the various public health projects, various projects are governed by the World Bank, JICA funding, various additional African bank funding. They used to use this FIDIC contract condition. Nowadays, this is the normal trend. Unfortunately, this type of topics, which was not covered in the any syllabus, engineering syllabus, apart from the construction management practice. So these are the new trends. Once you enter outside your institute, you will find at least you have to know normal condition of contract, which are the, what is the FIDIC, like that. No one will expect that you might be the proficient in this type of clauses, but at least when you faces some interview with the various industry, they will ask, did you do you know the FIDIC contract or like something like so. At that stage, you should be aware about what is the FIDIC and other things. There is one now we just want to move on the project management aspect. As I told, like once you enter from the institute, you will ask some question from the industry, like what is the project management, other things. Though you are the fresh graduate engineer, but there is no harm to acquainted with the additional knowledge of project management professional. So this project management professional certification is talking about the efficient project management of various public health engineering. So let's have a fact about the construction project. Construction industry is the biggest industry in the world. It covers the 30% of GDP. Is not performing well. 1% annual growth for the past 2 decades. Around $69.4 trillion in global infrastructure investment. Around $69.4 trillion has been planned to invest by the 2035. You might find after 2031 there is a skilled labor shortage. Around 41% of use of construction workplace is expected to retire by 2031. You can imagine the shortage of the skilled labor shortage at the stage of 2031. Second aspect, I may call this might be the fact of the construction industry. For every 1 billion spent on the construction project, $127 million is wasted because of the 72% project delays. 73% projects are over budget. Scope, 70% of scope creep. So what is the scope script? Scope script is just a revising of the scope day by day in the project. Like is a revising of the same scope, addition of the same scope in the previous scope. So that's why Project Management Institute recommended Project Management Professional Certificate. These are the top 5 reasons for failure of the projects. One is the lack of training, which is related to human resources things. Expectation of mismanagement, like scope. Most of the time, client wants to add scope of work in your current scope of work. Most of the time, government regulation has been changed. You have to change your scope of work. Lack of leadership, lack of identifying, tracking requirement, poor planning and integration. So project management professional certifications which guide you how to implement projects, how to effectively manage your project, how to plan your projects, what are the constraints of your project. So these are the new trends in the current public health engineering system. Now these are the last 3 slides. We are going to talk about the electromechanical trends. I am from the civil background, but I can cover slightly some slides of trends in electromechanical ICT. There is a new trend, like nowadays everyone is talking about the smart city and smart and intelligent network technologies. So what is that? Smart water network solution improve the reliability of physical water infrastructure by collecting, analyzing data more efficiently. The use of Internet things, devices and data analytics not only help to better manage infrastructure and reduce non-revenue water losses, but also support important changes to the ways which water utilities and companies operate. Smart end-to-end water network offer business opportunity to improve the productivity and efficiency while enhancing service. Now, in the water industry or wastewater industry or public health industry, most of the time, if you compare the wastewater sewage treatment plant, you will find 40% of work captured by the civil stream. 60% works has been covered by the electromechanical ICT things. So it consists of various modern trends in the electrical things, various pump configuration trends in the mechanical and ICT. ICT is a instruments engineering in which various smart things like automatic water signal system, automatic sensor operated devices has been used nowadays. So there is a lot of scope of electromechanical ICT industry in the public health engineering system. Like we talk about the multi-pump arrangements system. So nowadays, like public health engineering sectors has been little bit changed. They used to use configuration of the various parallel pumps, series pumps. Now you can see here in public health engineering system, they use both type of pumps. Whenever you want high head, they use the pumps in series with the limited volumes of flow rate. You can see the curve is downing towards the 250 meter cube per hours. So whenever there is a requirement of discharging your flow at high head, they use the pump in series. But when we want to discharge our flow with the limited head, but with the um, with high flow rate, we use the parallel pump system. So this type of modern multi-pump configuration has been used. Previously, it has been like single pumps um, we provided for the transferring from the flow from one place to another flow. But nowadays, like in the modern trends, like they used to use different capacity of the from different capacity of the motors, like that. So this is the end of my presentation. Thanks for the patience and listening to me. And this is my details. If you have any queries, so I definitely revert back to you. If you really interested, you can note it down my coordinates here. This is my email ID, personal email ID. This is the official email ID, and this is the Indian number, and this is the Botswana number. So if you have any queries, so I can answer that.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for such in-depth session today. I hope all participants have learned a lot today, and surely you have inspired all to pursue further research in the area. Uh, if there are any questions related to the presentation, please go forward it. Till then, you can ask the question in the chat box. Sir, two questions are there. I'll read it for you.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I can read for you. Is there any specific construction management software in the field of water resource project?
yes.
Yeah, like if we talk about the construction management software, you can use the Primavera and PMP, which is normally used to use for the basically planning of your project.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Water, does it work in water resources projects as well?
yes,
Yeah.
any type of planning of the project, like this the construction management software like PERT, CPM,
Yes.
they are the outdated methodologies. We cannot call them as a software,
Yes.
but there are different type of software like Primavera, PMP, Microsoft planning, like that. So we can use that in the field of water resource project also. I can see another question. Is there any scope of using digital elevation modeling as a part of? Yes. Like you are asking about the digital elevation. Yeah. DM. Yeah, like in the solid waste management system, when you are site, when you are piling your solid waste things, there are some standard for the piling of the your solid waste on the solid waste management site. So you can use digital terrain model by to restrict the piling of the uh, substance of the solid waste management on the solid waste management sites.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
One more question is there from Dr. Jayant Raut. What is reliability of ground penetration radar used for geotechnical investigation or some investigation related to the water resource project there?
They are highly reliable technology. This is one of the high GPR is one of the highly reliable technology. Like you can find out up to the 10-meter depth, you can find out any type of pipes, any type of solid material, any type of tunnel, any type of things, which is actually efficiency of the GPR is depend on the reflection of the rays. Yes, coming to the surface. So they are very much reliable.
Okay, sir. There are no questions from the participant, but sir, as a professor of civil engineering department, even after seeing your very well constructed presentation in the domain, I have some queries in my mind as well, sir.
Yes.
Nowadays, we are using at a lot of places we are using LiDAR for specific surveys and all. related to the water resource project. And these new techniques combined with the remote sensing and GPS, GIS, nowadays the time required for surveys are very less. But do you think that it will be as accurate as those conventional survey methodologies which we used to use in the water resource project or hydrological projects? Or what is your opinion on that? I was curious about it.
Yeah, thanks for your question. Yeah, actually, any use of the modern technology,
Yes.
it depends on what client is paying to you.
Yes, sir.
If for water supply system or irrigation system, if it's in his standard document, he's mentioning, no, I want this type of survey data with this type of different technology. And if he's really going to pay that much fascinating amount, it will depend on that. Like in water, in public health in the industry nowadays, we used to do that like that. If client is paying less amount, we use the conventional system, which is going to be available in the very limited resources, very limited cost of the limited cost. If client has different perspective, if he want modern technology, we use modern technology. It depends on the what client is paying you. In project management uh, terminology, we call the gold plating. So whatever mentioning your scope document or tender document, we have to supply that only. We should not provide the gold plating to the client like that.
After all, it's all depends on the budget and economical
Yes,
sanctions
yes.
which are
Even
available.
like consultancy, uh, even like consultancy firm, they have to run by their capacity.
Yes, sir.
If client want that, some modern techniques, eventually they have to hire the expert resources.
Yes, definitely.
So like
Then
that.
there are a lot of economics behind that
Yes, yes,
hiring.
yes. So whatever client is paying, we can provide them
We
like that.
can increase or decrease the accuracy, or we can,
Yes, yes,
rely
yes.
on whatever is
Unnecessary,
available.
there is no
Just
logic.
perfect.
Like if some like Hingna or Hingna Municipal Corporation, they want to design their water supply system. We cannot provide the like high radar topographical data. That data is never they will not use
Yes.
anytime.
But
There is a
as
loss
time
of
passes, this will be cheaper and available. It will be
yes.
available for most of the projects. Thank
Yes.
you, sir. One more question has been come from our dear Professor Harshal Varade, sir.
Okay.
Is there any requirement of ISO certification to do the design of water or sewage projects? He says.
Yeah, actually, ISO certification is required, uh, especially like sometime some of the client there's the eligibility criteria is like that, like the like so and so consultant firm should be the ISO nominated like that. So at that time, based on the tender contract condition, tender eligibility, if they have mentioned like that, so that at that time we need the ISO certification. Like environmental project, ISO 14000 we required. Like any government project, if you want to uh, perform environmental EI project, normally government client they want ISO 14000 for the environmental project
Yes, sir.
like that.
Okay, sir. Again, Varshal Varade, sir, in the reply, he asks, is ISO 1400 is beneficial? 14,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. For the environmental project, it is beneficial. Sometime client want consultant should be the ISO 14000,
Okay.
which is like it's like a eligibility norms
Criteria for the consultant. Yeah.
consultant. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any more question? You can just post it if you want. Any? I think most of you have posted their questions, sir.
Yes.
It was again, thank you once again on the behalf of IRO and Electronics Department of YCC for your valuable guidance. I request you to accept the token of appreciation. Mr. Pua, sir? Yes. So we would definitely try to provide you that particular memento till the 30th, and we are working on it, sir. But we have some digital way of giving or presenting a memento to you. We are just starting on that.
Okay.
It's playing on that. I think there is some technical issues around that. Today,
Okay.
network is too much, unstable in the department, I think.
Yeah, normally due this type of virtual session, it comes with the various technical glitches.
Yes, sir. But, again, I would request you to accept the token of appreciation on the behalf of organizing team and Yashwantrao Chauhan of College of Engineering for giving us your valuable time. Thank you once again, sir, and we would be having such kind of nice, you can say, sessions in the future as well. We would be happy to have you in our presentation and sessions, sir, as an expert speaker. Thank you once again, sir.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye for now.